Welcome back to the latest in climate zealotry and insanity now. There's some more climate fear-mongering out and about this week. An article claims that climate anxiety is leading some young adults to opt out of having kids. The WEF says while the term climate anxiety might sound clinical, it doesn't. Experts assure it's not a mental illness, but rather a natural response to the global threat of climate change. I mean, seriously, don't have kids if this is what you believe, because the kids are going to grow up brainwashed and absolutely petrified at everything. Psychologist and adjunct fellow at the Institute of Public Affairs, Clare Rowe, joins me now. Clare, I mean, seriously, is this actually a thing, climate anxiety?
Yeah, it is, Danica. Look, as a psychologist, particularly seeing young people in my clinic, this isn't just a passing thing. It's absolutely a real growing mental health phenomenon, and is rapidly becoming, I think, one of the biggest hidden pressures on our children. But I think part of the problem is the way that we're responding to this fear. I mean, it's all wrong. And instead of applying the best known treatments for anxiety, you know, things like teaching young people to challenge their thoughts and self-regulate and get some perspective, we're actually like kind of leaning into it and applauding them and patting them on the back. And I think that, you know, around classrooms and certainly in popular culture, we're validating their worst fears and immersing children in these kind of worst case scenarios. So, you know, I absolutely see children in my clinic who don't think that they're going to live to adulthood. And the young adults now that are saying that they're not going to have children, I mean, these are the ones that have come through our education system and have been fed this stuff since they were 5 years old. So if they really think that the world is doomed, why would you have kids? And so my latest research through the IPA is showing that, yeah, this is not just a passing phase. It does start with our education system, but I also think it starts with also mental health professionals, my fellow psychologists, calling this out in how we're responding to young people that are so anxious about this.
Well, you know, I agree. Don't have children. If your biggest concern is climate anxiety, not being responsible for an adult, for a human, for another life, don't have kids. The world will be better off, seriously. Now, look, young people are sending life insurers broke as claims for being unable to return to the workforce skyrocket due to stress, burnout and bullying in the workplace. Co-chair of the Council of Australian Life Insurers, Kent Griffin, said he was especially concerned about the rise in young people making claims for mental health reasons. Clare, you know, what is going on with young people today?
Yeah, this is unbelievable when I saw this. Almost half of insurance payouts for complete incapacitation of working in the future are now due to mental health. And it's not the elderly, it's people in their 30s and 40s, like their prime of their life, their working age, are making permanent disability claims at an exponential rate. And I don't say this lightly. I'm a psychologist. I know the realities of mental illness. But what we're seeing is a system that is, I think, completely out of touch with clinical reality, because of course the treatment for, you know, moderate to severe depression and anxiety is not a lump sum payout. It's not permanent retirement. There are treatments for these things, and they involved reintegration back into our community and work. And these things are very treatable. And so this is not about denying, I think, legitimate mental illness, but it is recognising that the system now is going to collapse. We've seen this with the NDIS, which is in the imminent stage of collapsing, and so too will insurance companies if they're going to pay out on things for a lifelong disability that are treatable conditions. And so we need to be very careful, because I think the mental health narrative in this country is very high on empathy, but very low on science.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, is this going the way of the NDIS now, where, you know, you're stressed out in the workplace, you've got a bit on your plate, suddenly you've got to make a claim. You know, I just, when you start opening this door, it doesn't end. It's unreal. Clare Rowe, thank you very much for joining me on the show this evening. Really appreciate it.